Good morning, and thanks so much for tuning into the trade setup. I'm Neeraj Shah. Well, let's take stock of the world markets, and mind you, it's not the most optimum cues, if you will. So, not only the fact that the U.S. markets corrected in Friday's session, the Nasdaq down 1%, the Dow and the S&P are down about 0.3, 0.4%, but the market action over the last week wasn't the strongest. So, yeah, these are the other cues, and we'll get to those as well. Okay, yeah, let's look at that. Not a problem. Let's just show the other cues first. Dollar index up 102. VIX went up both in India and the US. And the 10-year yield at 3.72. Now, if I can do just a bit of a juggle, and there is a market action plate that we have, which shows what world markets, world, etc. have done. So Nasdaq has snapped the 8-week winning streak last week. Hang Seng China Enterprises Index of Hong Kong listed Chinese firms slumped more than 6% last week, and negative week for Indian broader markets after 12 straight weeks of gains. So the mid cap and the small cap space also corrected in trade last week, which is actually the other thing. Now, the global action, Egypt or global news flow, Egypt and India eyes strategic commodity supply relationship. Amazon and Google are going to expand the India investments after Modi visits US. Prime Minister Modi's visit has had its desired impact both on the Egypt thing as well as the US thing. Bitcoin hit the highest in a year in reawakening of animal spirits. Now, whether it's only true for Bitcoin or for risk assets by and large remains to be seen. Goldman sees emerging market stocks eclipsing the US market in size by 2030. So that's the some key global thoughts, global news flow. The SGX Nifty, the last I checked, would have, actually I didn't check this morning, but should be flat. Okay, Gift Nifty, excuse me, for the right term, it's at about 18,817. So watch out for that. Now, what's the trade setup? Well, you should trade the market and not the forecast. And from a market perspective, the index move is not confidence inspiring, but no dramatic downswings anticipated. India VIX closed in the green for the first time in 5 weeks, and that is actually a bit of a negative, right? You like low volatility, your volatility will pick up, and if the trend on the global side is lower, then we might expect some bit of weakness to percolate to our markets too. Not that it hasn't, because we saw that move on Friday. It's a bit of a downtick that we saw, and a bit of a surprise one at that, not defended very well. And in an expiry week, that might hit. The only solace, if you will, that if you believe that call writers and put writers or the larger option writers can kind of predict what could be happening around in the band. Highest put OI 18,700, highest call OI 18,800. Well, seems that we are pricing in, or at least the option writers are pricing in very narrow moves and no large moves. But well, time will tell. A lot of liquid stocks came off in Friday's trade. So look at Voltas down 4.2%, very high volumes. Look at BPCL 3.5%, very high volume. Birlasoft 1.2% down, very high volumes, and similarly LTTS2 down about 4.2%. And mind you, this is a point of time when IT was just starting to show that sign of an uptick, but likely that some more downsides could be there. And actually, IT has its issues, right? So, for example, in my stocks to watch list for today, the first one is TCS. Now, this is the official update from TCS that on this whole recruitment issues surrounding the company. They launched a review. The issues related to the breach of company's code of conduct was the issue. The review found that it does not involve any fraud or any against the company or any financial impact, and no key managerial person of the company is being found to be involved. Now, you would suspect that the that this means that the company uh, is out of the woods per se, but no, it is a large private vendor, and there is an issue that has happened in the recruitment process of TCS. Yes, there is no financial impact. Could it have a large sentiment impact? Very possible. So that's the limited point I'm making. Sure, the company said that in the official release, which is, to my mind, a bit lukewarm as well. I'll be very honest, but independent of that's a view, right? I believe that this is lukewarm. Some people may say this is the right response, and they may be right too. I'm not saying no. All I'm trying to say is that I think from a market's perspective, the stock could have a bit of a reaction. Let's wait and watch. Sure. HDFC Life, they've received a GST demand notice for 942 crores. The demand pertains to period from July 17 to 22. The matter relates to the claiming of input tax credit against supply of services which are ineligible according to the company, and the company's deposited 250 crores under protest. But be that as it may, it's a largish sum for a business which is starting to find momentum. The stock has done really well the last few days. Could there be a bit of a corrective move? Sure, could be. The other one in focus is Shree Cement. Now, I repeat, I mean, we at BQ Prime, uh, okay, let's first focus on Shree Cement, then get to the others, because Shree Cement is a large news in itself. Now, there are media reports of a large tax evasion issue. Now, the point is, do I, does BQ Prime have independent confirmation of the same? No, we don't. But because this is out in the open and because it's a large sum, I suspect there could be a bit of a corrective action on Shree Cement. So do watch out for this one. So between TCS, HDFC Life, Shree Cement, you've got three large stocks from different sectors having a small or a large issue today. And relatively from HDFC Life's perspective, maybe not as large as the other two. And that's why I say large and small issues. But all three could have a corrective move. So do watch out for these in the session today. Simultaneously, do watch out for a non-index stock, Ipca Labs as well. The US FDA has issued a Form 483 with 8 observations to the Pithampur facility. Do watch out for Ipca. This could be a stock that could react negatively, so that's one to focus on. ICICI Securities, the board meet on June 29, to consider a proposal for delisting. I think ISEC listed not very long ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago. I may be wrong by the exact timeline, but it's not an age-old stock is the limited point I'm making. It listed slightly above 500. It is trading slightly above 500. Yes, it did go up, but over a CAGR period, if you just look at point to point from listing to date, it's not quite created wealth, and the proposal for delisting. So there's a bit of a recognition that either, people are not seeing value and therefore they're trying to find the bottom or what have you. But yep, maybe the stock reacts positively today. Let's wait and watch. Then India's eased the rules for drone UAV exports for civilian use, and therefore companies like Paras Defense and Dronacharya might be in focus. EU Small Finance Bank might be in focus. They're going to consider institutional share placements, so do watch out for that one. Couple of block deals. Parag Milk, 6 cents India Opportunities Fund for about 6.8 lakh shares at 121.23. This is Nikhil Vora's fund. Very smart investor in the consumption space. Do not buy because he's bought it. I urge all of you, try and do your own research. But it's important to highlight this because it's a smart investor which has come into Parag Milk. And I thought the Indiabulls Housing Finance purchase was interesting. Florentine InsurTech, again, niche unit, buying into this. Maybe there's more than what, maybe there is merit in trying to dig more into this issue or into this purchase and into this company as well. When smart money buys, you shouldn't buy, but you should definitely investigate. That's the limited point I'm making when I'm talking about both of these bulk deals. So do watch out for them. Then a couple of brokerage calls. Nomura and SBI Cards, they've downgraded the stock to reduce. Target price has been cut to 700 from 1030. Profitability, they say, will remain under pressure. Credit card industry growth moderating. They believe SBI Cards continues to lose market share. The industry landscape is changing with an increase in riskier consumer segments. And stretch valuations, according to Nomura on SBI Cards, say it leaves no margin for error. So do watch out for SBI Cards. Morgan Stanley on UPL, because of the announcement that came in on Friday, overweight rating, target price of 856. They believe the demerger of specialty chemical and AI business will potentially unlock shareholder value in future. So these are a few names. The news flow around index heavyweights or index names isn't the strongest, and therefore with the bank Nifty also looking weak, there might be a bit of an issue for the markets today. Keep in mind, global markets are not trading all that well either. What stood out for me amongst all of this is this. Following Prime Minister Modi's visit, Amazon will invest $15 billion, announcement of $15 billion investment over the next 7 years. The plan will take Amazon's total investment in India to 26 billion. Well, uh, you know, we should be happy about the fact that there is a significant amount of investment that is happening in the country. And if you refer to Nitkan Mishra's report when he was in Credit Suisse, and we've done an interview on the same, about the need to create jobs in the country for the large sector of youth, which is coming into the employment stream every single year, I think we as a nation should embrace all of these with both hands. Thanks so much for tuning into the trade setup. Have a wonderful day. In an interesting set of conversations lined up during the course of the day today. Not only on Talking Point will we speak to a market veteran, but at 10:35 we talk to Shyam Metallics. Remember, pellet companies are starting to inch up, so those are doing well. And each of the day for the next 4 days, and we'll tell you the timeline shortly, but every single day for the next 4 days, and I'm saying the next 4 days because Wednesday is a holiday for Eid. But Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, we're going to be talking to companies which have displayed exceptional growth. One company which has displayed exceptional growth over the last 5 years, and the projections for growth for FY24 and possibly FY25 are also strong. So one company each day for the next 4 days. It promises to be an interesting set of conversations. You might want to tune in for some of these. Thanks for tuning into the Trade Setup.